should we all sing the Pokemon theme tune to get into it?
Go ahead. By all means, go ahead.
It's gonna be all four of us.
Oh yeah, it will be. Yeah.
We'll all do different bits. We'll layer it up.
I need practice for that.
We'll all do different opens. I'll do Pokemon Johto.
I don't know what that means.
Do you know any of the others apart from just the normal one?
Yeah, I know the second one.
How the fuck does that one go?
Go on, Wowers.
I'm not going to sing it here.
Pokemon.
Got to catch the rest of them.
I'm not recording, I swear.
I've only known you guys for like 2 months, the length we've been doing this pod. We're all strangers before this. It's too early for me to be singing.
Just saw an ad.
Need a bit of time.
Yeah.
Co-host wanted.
Yeah, we met on Discord.
Must have seen a film.
I don't know how Reese got through then.
I've seen loads of films. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Until we started this pod, Reese, I thought you had like really like decent film taste and knowledge, but you've swiftly come in.
Because listen, I just like to enjoy films.
We're cynics and critics in here.
And then Porter makes me watch stuff like the Justice League.
You're welcome. Reese is the everyman.
The Justice League as well.
Not a Justice League.
The Justice
It's
League.
not
The Justice League.
It's not the knowledge I got a problem with. Which the knowledge is fine. It's the taste.
I'm sure we'll hear plenty of that in this episode. Plenty of Reese's taste.
Every time Reese mentions a film, I have to look at my phone and Google it. Like, what the fuck is that?
I like B movies. I like B movie horrors.
No, there's only one B movie.
I don't like that. That movie's trash.
So
that's so ironic.
Best B movie of all.
So you like jazz?
That's
the only bit I remember about that movie. And that
from the white man,
he steals. Doesn't he steal that man's wife?
Yeah. Basically, it's about a woman who wants to fuck a bee. That's all I need to know. Right?
B movie is my favorite video game adaptation.
Is there a B movie game?
Yeah,
no, there's
probably.
Is there? There's a B simulator game which looks
I think
great.
there's probably a B movie game.
It's a B movie game. I had it on Nintendo.
Is it DreamWorks? Is B movie DreamWorks?
I think so. Yeah.
They usually make games as well, don't they?
Should we
shouldn't
video game movies and talk about just our favorite simulators? They should make an Octodad movie.
Oh man.
The most infuriating game I've
do you ever
played in my entire life.
What was that game where you had to was it QWERTY it was called, where you had to control the guy running? And some keys controlled his legs and the other ones controlled his arms.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that game was a fucking pain in the ass. Being IT in secondary school trying to do it
What grade did you get in IT?
Productive, yeah.
Oh, I didn't do IT to get I didn't do it like GCSE. Like I like lessons,
to fuck around and
lessons.
Fuck around and play
of you just
plays a goose.
Leaving geography to go into the IT room, which you didn't need to do just to play that game.
No, we only had IT as extra lessons, and it was usually you do that thing where you could it was you could map something out and it would move that way. Did you ever do that thing?
Oh, come on,
yeah,
just wrap it up. We've got a podcast to do that.
Right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Keeping It Real podcast. As always, I'm James, joined by Jack, Calvin, and Reese. Before we get started, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Keeping It Real UK. From there, you can find links to all our streaming platforms. Please like, rate, and subscribe where you can. Right, guys. So this week, because we all enjoyed watching and talking about Mortal Kombat so much last week, that review is out now if you haven't listened to it. We're going to talk video game movies, the best, the worst, and games we'd want to see adapted into films. So who is clamoring to talk about their favorite video game movie? Who wants to go first?
Go on,
I don't think anyone's passionate enough about video game movies.
Yeah.
Really? No, I think Reese is. Go on, Reese.
I'm not that part. I just think my favorite one. You don't like Silent Hill?
No.
Not particularly, no.
I think Silent Hill as a video game movie and as a horror movie is pretty decent. Because some of the plot is very, kind of similar to the games. But I think it's more of just some of the imagery of the film, because some of the monsters in it are actually quite like terrifying. Like, that scene with that guy is in the bathroom and he's all like hung up in barbed wire. That scared the shit out of me when I watched the film the first time. I was too young to be watching this film the first time I watched this film.
Is there
How
two
many-
Silent Hill films?
Yeah, I was going to say, how
the
many did
second
they
one,
make?
we won't talk about the second.
Yeah, I can't. They sort of blend in to one. All I can remember is Kit Harington in the second one.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah, that's the part. The first
Yeah.
one is the better one. It's the one with
Yeah, I
Sean
can't-
Bean.
They sort of blend together for me. I
Yeah,
can't
no,
remember.
the first one is much better than the second one. The second one, they kind of just did their own thing, and it didn't really make sense. Whereas,
The
like in
man
this
with the
one,
triangle on his head.
it's that the girl is connected to Silent Hill through like an ancestor of hers who they believed to be like a demon or a witch. So they burnt her alive. And the mother takes the
Classic.
girl there to like kind of solve this trauma that she has. And they get teleported to the world of Silent Hill, which is like an alternate reality. But yeah, you say Pyramid Head is one of the best video game villains. And also he looks great in the film as well.
I
Yeah,
like you. I think
I
I
think-
watched that when I was very young, and I
Yeah.
never went back to see it again.
Oh, I give it a second watch because it's pretty good as a horror film.
Yeah, there was nothing there that really made me want to go back and see it, and I really cannot remember any of it.
Did you say
But maybe
one of the villains is called Pyramid Head?
Yeah,
he's got a
if you
triangle
look-
on his head, Jack.
In fairness, if that guy walked through your door right now, you'd brick it.
It's always
Well, yeah,
falling
so-
over top heavy.
Fair, if
be a
anyone
nightmare.
walked through my door right now, I'd probably be a bit freaked out.
There's like, yeah, he's kind of like what's the word? Like, is it omnipotent presence? Like he's kind of always there in the background.
Probably like
Omnipresent.
malevolent.
Malevolent, that's what I was looking for. Yeah. Like he just kind of follows you around, and if he catches you, he's got a massive fuck off sword, and he just cuts you in half.
Oh,
and
do love a big sword.
And there's nurses that are blind and have syringes on their hands.
Are they
Yes.
qualified or?
They probably were at one point, but not
Get
by the time the film
vaccinations going.
rolls around.
Yeah, they can
Before
do
they lost their sight.
10 vaccines at once.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
coming handy
well-
now. Yeah,
Like you said about the plot with someone needing to go to this sort of alternate, other world because to sort of deal with their trauma. Is that what you said? That sounds
no.
like
it's the same as the game. Like there's just a link to Silent Hill. They don't know it's like an alternative reality. They just go there thinking it's like a normal town. that's
a
been
normal
abandoned.
alternate reality.
No, because they're not aware until afterwards. Because if you watch the film, the girl and the mother are like trapped in this alternate reality, and Sean Bean, who's the father, goes looking for them.
Does
So-
Sean Bean die?
He doesn't in this film, actually.
What?
Oh.
I know, and he's in the second one as well. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he dies in that one either.
Ah,
I can't remember
Mad.
these movies
Fuck.
at all.
Yeah, I think the way you described the plot actually sounded it's a bit interesting, but I think it all comes down to just sort of the execution of the script on the film. So I think like the way you write for a game is very different to where you write for a film, and I do think that's
Yeah.
why so many video games come to fail. I think that some of them try to be a little bit too faithful to their
would-
source material to sort
Doesn't
of get the
translate.
market of the fans of the games,
Yeah.
because it already
recommend
has a
it, 'cause
fan base. People are going to see it.
Yeah, I looked it up on I looked lists of best to worst horror films, and Silent Hill and most of the lists I found was in the top 10. I think it was number 2 on like IGN's.
So I would never
Like
put that even near the top 50 horror films of all time. As I
Horror
know.
movies or video game
sorry,
movies?
video game movies. Sorry,
Oh,
Oh, video
right.
Sorry.
sorry, no,
Fuck
it's
me,
not.
I was
No,
like, what
I wouldn't say it's in the
websites
top
is Reese
10.
going on?
no, but on I think on IGN it was like number 2. And
What was number 1?
it might have been Lara Croft, the new one, Tomb Raider, maybe.
Tomb Raider.
All right, good segue. That is my pick for best video game movie. The Tomb Raider that came out in 2018.
Didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
Is it Alicia
No.
Vikander?
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah. Is that the one I was trying to explain it to Calvin earlier? Is at the beginning, is there like a ridiculous bicycle chase?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was. I remember seeing that in the cinema. That was pretty fucking awesome.
So you have seen it?
I've seen that. Yeah, I have.
Oh, Reese, have you?
No.
Oh, do yourself a favor, boys. I
It
think
is. Is it?
easily.
Is the story based on the game, or is it just?
Yeah, it's based on the Tomb Raider reboot. I'm not sure what year that came out. It was like 2016 or 2015 or something.
Is it called like Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Is that Shadow?
Or...
Shadow
Shadow
or
of the
Rise?
Tomb
No,
Raider.
well, no, well, they just rebooted it with Tomb Raider, and then
Oh, do they? Oh, yeah.
yeah, so it's just based off that. So forgetting the Angelina Jolie movies, that I don't like Cradle of Life, but the first Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider is actually quite good, I thought. Yeah, so she's going to a mysterious island to uncover the truth behind her father's adventures. And I think just as an action movie, like Tomb Raider isn't, it's not the most video gamey of the video games. It's, it does translate very well.
Who's the father in this one? I remember it being quite a big actor.
Dominic West.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And you got Walton Goggins as the bad guy. Always great.
Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always
I think all I've seen is a clip just before it came out. They just released a clip of like them trying to get something from like a tomb, and there's like a sarcophagus type thing, and then there's like some sort of thing that like melts people or kills some of the soldiers.
Yeah, she releases like she was encased in this sarcophagus because she was carrying a deadly disease. So as soon as
that's right. Yeah.
As soon as it comes off, like people get infected and turn like into zombies. But I love the Tomb Raider games. I've been playing them since I was a kid, so I'm a big fan. So I was excited for this, and then it's simple, and that's where a lot of video game movies, I think, they go wrong, because they do try and translate everything from the game into the movie, and that just doesn't go over well because there's too much, because it's a different medium.
Yeah.
So they kept it simple. Alicia Vikander's great. The action was really good. Great score by Junkie XL, and there was surprising an actual heart to the movie, and there was some emotion behind it. So I won't spoil it unless you want to watch it.
Well, no, I will watch it, because wasn't Ben Wheatley was tied to the second one for a while?
So directing the sequel is I can't remember her name. So Ben Wheatley was on it for about a year, but now he's gone to direct the Meg 2.
Yeah.
Which the Meg wasn't great, but Ben Wheatley's doing number 2. Then fucking sign me up. So it's Misha Green doing the Tomb Raider sequel, and she wrote Lovecraft Country, which a really good show. Yeah, I watched. I've not finished it yet. I've watched probably the first half of season 1, but that is a great show so far. So that's in good hands. If you haven't seen Tomb Raider, man, do yourself a favor and whack it on.
I'll check it out.
Not long. It's not overcomplicated. It's simple, decent action movie. It's no Indiana Jones. But,
is that your pitch to me? I'm someone who could happily sit down and watch a 6-hour silent film.
Yeah. Not a 6-hour Tomb Raider movie, though.
This is a bicycle chase.
That'd be too much.
The bicycle chase goes on for quite a long time as well, if I remember. I remember thinking, like, it's been more than 5 minutes.
I don't think it was.
It was a long time, I remember.
Maybe it just felt long.
The only 2 bits I think I remember of that film properly is said bicycle chase. And I think, isn't there a bit where she's about to like fall off a cliff, but she's like in a destroyed plane? Like a wreckage?
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I'm joking, that was in the trailer.
Take it straight from the game.
Yeah, they're the only 2 bits I remember. I remember enjoying it at the time, but like it's one of those films, like I feel like I could watch it once and that was enough. But I'll definitely...
I went to go see it 3 times.
Wow.
I loved it. I was in, and I can't wait for number 2.
I'll definitely watch the second one.
Yeah, Jack, what's your pick? Best video game.
I'm going with... I thought this was a controversial pick because until the other day, I didn't even know that these were games first. I thought they were like straight after. But I'm going to go with the Pokemon movies.
Oh, the animated movies.
Like the... what was the first one?
3, is it?
Yeah, so the Pokemon the first movie, and then Yeah, it was called Pokemon the first movie, and then Pokemon 2000.
2000.
Yeah, and then
And
the one
then-
with the dogs. I don't know what that one's called.
Was Pokemon 2000s the one with the little like floating, what looked like letters? Is that what that one was?
With
Yeah,
the
the
unknown. No,
Unknown.
that's the third
Yeah.
one.
That was a good one. I
Yeah.
like that one.
The second one is like Lugia and that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I just think. I mean, the games are great.
Which one is
I-
Mewtwo Strikes Back?
That's the first one.
That's the first Pokemon movie.
Yeah, it's called Pokemon the first movie: Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Fuck me.
Even though,
That's
which was really
exhausting.
confusing because, like, as a child, you don't understand that that's to do with like the plot, and like you're
Yeah.
kind of like, did I miss something? Because he hasn't struck. He hasn't struck once. Never mind again.
Never mind
The
back.
film was heartbreaking as a kid. I remember
Yeah,
watching
like
that.
that's what I mean.
Is that when
Well,
Pikachu dies?
Ash turns to
Oh, so they
stone.
turned to stone. There's that scene of just the Pikachu just like slapping each other because they make clones today, the Pokemon,
Right.
and they all fight each
Yeah.
other, and it's like it's really emotional watching that.
It is really emotional. Watching two, it sounds stupid, but watching two mice slap each other has incredible emotional weight.
That's what Ratatouille was missing.
I just think like Pokemon's like a nostalgia thing. And so I feel like people, if you went back at it now and watched it for the first time ever, it's probably not going to have the same effect on you as it did when you watched it when you were a kid. But
It does. No,
well, yeah. But I just think they got like, we all love just that ridiculous anime style, which is everything done about, just mad effects. It's actually got good emotional weight, and I felt very invested. And when you went to go to the cinema, they gave you a free Mew Ancient card. So that was
I had
sick.
2 of those.
Yeah, they were awesome. And also, what they do with the Pokemon movies, they start them off with a nice little short to like ease you in. At the beginning of the first
Like
one, I think it's
Disney.
called like Pikachu's Vacation, and it's all about the Pokemon just going to a theme park for Pokemon, and they go on like roller coasters and shit, and it's just sick. It's just nice as well, isn't it? It's just nice.
Yeah, I watched I don't know how many of the Pokemon movies I've seen, so it was so long ago. I went through my Pokemon phase when I was a kid was very short, so I don't remember a lot. I wish I really kept my cards because they could be worth a few buck.
I'm still in my Pokemon phase.
Oh,
And I think even like Detective Pikachu is
I was just going to say, what did we all
Well,
think of
quite
Detective
enjoyable
Pikachu?
as a film,
No, that's my pick. That's my pick. for
Good
the best
segue.
Video
Take
game
it-
film.
Look at
Take it
that.
away, Calvin.
Yeah, I think I really enjoyed this, not just because, well, it does help that I already loved Pokemon, so going into it, that was already a plus.
Mm.
But I think this film, it's weird to say because it's Pokemon, but it really takes itself seriously, unlike other video game adaptations. And I think this is where it actually works. I think they did such a great job in that film for sort of like realizing this sort of world where there was this big city full of Pokemon where everyone could come and live. I thought that was really well done. I actually felt like it was an actual place. It's a film where I can feel, out of these films that we're talking about, it's the only one where I feel like I can actually watch over and over again and just sort of not feel like, not constantly, but not feel like it's a chore to watch. Obviously, by no means, so I think it's a great film, and I hardly think that any of the ones we've mentioned or will mention today really fall into that category. But I just think it's such an enjoyable film. I think when they first sort of announced it, I was like, oh, cool, live action Pokemon film, that'll be weird. I don't know if they can pull it off. And then I saw like Ryan Reynolds attached, and I was like, ugh. But then I still feel like all of that came together and actually worked really well. And I feel like Detective Pikachu is a sort of well-loved Pokemon game, but I feel like it was the right sort of offshoot game to sort of adapt where the story really works in a film. And I think they didn't just like say, oh, we're just going to make a live Pokemon film and it's just going to be a sort
that
of
could be so much
just a live action of the first Pokemon film or the second one. They went about it a bit differently, and I do think I would happily watch a sequel from it. I thought it was really well done. The effects were really good. It was the right amount of sort of campy to sort of keep that classic Pokemon feel, and it did something new. So yeah, that's
what most impressed me about Detective Pikachu was the world building. It just felt lived in. And anytime you're doing a movie like that and setting up a universe, it just needs to feel like it carries on. You know, it was going on before we started watching, and it will continue to go on after we watch it. And it did feel like that. I didn't even know there was a Detective Pikachu game before that movie.
Yeah,
I thought they made it up. I was like, what the fuck is this? But it helps that they had a decent director behind that as well. Rob Letterman. He did Shark Tale, Monsters vs. Aliens, and the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black. And
Shark Tale, what a film.
Great. We were talking about it last night. I love that movie.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese's eyebrows made it into the film.
Every time we bring that up, I'm like, I can't believe you played the pufferfish.
They made a video game of that as well. Did you ever play it?
Yeah.
Where you just had to you just danced basically. It was actually super hard.
So good. The Ryan Reynolds thing for me was, that is what really made Detective Pikachu work, because he brings so much, he brings his Ryan Reynolds-ness to it, and it, 9 times out of 10 that really works.
Yeah, his relationship with Psyduck was a big highlight. So he's gonna blow.
I
forgot about that. I really liked
the best part of the whole film.
They are signed on to do a sequel, aren't they? I think that was announced.
So,
yeah.
How could they do a sequel with the way that ended, though?
I was going to say the weird thing about it was that Pikachu was his dad the whole time, which I was like, oh.
Out of context, that sounds so bizarre. Pikachu was his dad.
Pikachu is actually Ryan Reynolds, it turns out.
The father of, what's his name, Justice
Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justice Smith. Yeah.
I felt that twist was weird. I didn't like the actual plot of it as well. What it boiled down to was it Bill Nye?
Yeah. But Bill Nye. I felt like Bill
wanted
Nye
to turn everyone.
I was really
into
surprised
Pokemon.
that Bill Nye was. I feel like Bill Nye was really jarring. It's not something I would expect him to be on board with, and he actually gave not a bored-looking performance.
He seems game for most things, doesn't he, Bill Nye?
Yeah,
he seems like a fun guy.
Yeah, until he takes over Mewtwo's body.
That was a cool movie. I'd happily see a sequel. Should we move on to worst? Because I think worst, we're really going to have a lot to say. 85% of video game movies are absolute tripe. Reese, we'll come back to you. Give us your worst.
I was torn between, I say 2, but it was like 1 and then a bunch by the same guy.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I was torn between Battleship, because that is I always forget it's a video game movie.
Battleship?
Yeah, Battleship.
It's not a video game. It's a
video game.
But if you Google video game movies, Battleship will come up.
I will not.
It's not.
Which is
that's just a game movie.
That's a game movie.
But I want to give that a shout anyway, because it's just an awful movie.
Terrible.
But then I don't. Do you know how to say his name, Calvin? Is it Uwe Ball? So you say his name?
Uwe Ball.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I think it's Uwe Ball.
The king of making awful, just terrible movies.
I can safely say I have never seen a single one.
Right.
I think he's considered worse because he actually thinks he's making good films. He's bad.
In a way, he's quite inspirational, right? Because it's like, no matter how many times people tell you to stop and that you shouldn't do what you do, just keep doing what you love. Because he keeps doing it, and people keep watching him. But I watched today.
It's a success story.
Yeah, today I watched Alone in the Dark. So I remember watching a little bit of it when I was younger, and I watched it today, and that is my pick for worst movie. So I put it on, and you know those movies that are like so bad, you'll just do anything else to not watch the movie. That's what I was doing. I was on my phone. I was like doing little bits and bobs on my room, because this movie is just so mind-numbingly. It's boring. It doesn't make sense. I looked up the original games. The original games are based off H.P. Lovecraft books.
Right. I've played one of the Alone
and
in
it's
the Dark
like,
games.
how do you take such good source material and just fuck it up that badly? Like they had to have a bit at the start. It's like a bit that summarizes like the background of what's going on. And they put that at the start because they showed it to test audiences. I think I looked it up and the majority of test audiences didn't know what was going on. So they had to put that at the start of the film to tell you what's happening. And I still didn't understand what was going on. It was like there was this ancient tribe that awoke these monsters. Then there was a scientist who was trying to make people into these like mindless zombie drone type things. And the two stories just didn't really match up. But they were like, yeah, we'll put that in a film. We'll get Christian Slater. We'll get Tara Reid, which is never a good idea. And we'll let him do a thing on camera. I just didn't understand what was going on. And
I, before this, was unaware there was an Alone in the Dark movie. So
it's if you look at worst
I'll never watch it.
Worst video game movies, maybe even worst movie lists, it's probably on there.
He's definitely found his niche though, hasn't he?
He does make a Postal movie. And do you guys know about the Postal games?
No.
You basically go around and you're like a terrible person who you just kill everyone. That's the whole point of the game. And he made a film.
Sounds really deep.
And the start of it are two terrorists hijack a plane. And they're arguing about how many virgins are waiting for them when they die. And then they decide, we're not going to crash this plane anymore. We don't want to do it. But then the passengers on the plane get so pissed off that they insist that these terrorists crash this plane. And then this plane crashes into the World Trade Center.
What is this?
That's the Postal film.
Oh, right.
Like, and I just don't know why he sat there and thought that is a good idea for a film.
Fuck me.
So your worst film pick is Yui Ball.
Just Yui Ball. My worst film pick is just Yui Ball's entire filmography.
Fair enough. I will never sit down and watch any of these. So it's good to know. It's good to know. Calvin, we'll come to you next because me and Jack have the same worst movie.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the monstrosity that is Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. With Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Rant about this because I've only seen it once when it first came out. I think I was too young to.
I haven't seen it in a long
like
time.
or dislike it.
I mean, this film is just terrible. I only really picked it because there were actually too many films to choose in this category, and many of the apparent worst ones that came out recently I haven't even seen because I thought better than to sort of subject myself to that. It's just like all I've got to say about it is Jake Gyllenhaal is such a great actor. So if you make a film
in my top 3
where he is inherently bad in it, then you've truly fucked up. You've done something. You've really gone wrong there because he can make he's in like some films in his earlier on in his career which aren't that great, but he still pulls them.
Bubble Boy.
And why would they even? I know they want to do it for like star power, but why would they even cast him in a role that literally has Persia in the title of the film? An American actor, he shouldn't even have been in the running order. He shouldn't even have been sat outside someone's office ready to audition for it. Maybe they just handed it him. It was like, go on,
probably, yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. All the performances in it are awful. The stunts are awful. Everyone looks like they are on wires because they are. The plot is obviously taken from one of the games, but it's so dumbed down that it just makes it awful. The effects are terrible. And to be honest, these are all bad things I can actually remember because I've sort of just pushed this out of my mind. Because like you said, when I was younger, before I sort of really started to look at what film was and how it was
in a different way,
I think I might have enjoyed it. I can't remember, but then I came back to it and saw it again. Maybe it was being shown on TV when I was about 17. I was like, God, this is, piping shit. And that is all I have to say about that film.
Yeah, I really can't remember a lot about it, but anytime, but yeah, and that goes with your argument really that I really can't remember anything about this movie. And then Jake Gyllenhaal is easily in my top 3 actors. I love him. I'll watch anything with him in. But why this? Why did he?
Is Ben Kingsley in this as well?
Ben Kingsley's
He
the
is,
bad guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he play Gandhi as well?
Yeah, nothing. It's nothing on his Thunderbirds performance. I'll tell
I
you that.
love Thunderbirds. I'll get loaded for Thunderbirds. Scrap Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, if you see the segue, but the lead actor from that, Brady Corbett, is actually a really amazing film director now. He did
wow.
the film the childhood of a Leader, which is amazing. Robert Pattinson's in it, and Liam Cunningham. And he also did Fox Lux with Natalie Portman, which you might have came out like 2 years ago, maybe. Yeah, he's
He
such a
directed
talented director. Yeah.
Wow. The main thing I remember from that Thunderbirds movie is that fucking incredible Busted song. So good. So good. Yeah, I remember.
And everyone loves Bill Paxton.
Oh, yeah, who doesn't?
Oh, what a man.
I was obsessed with Thunderbirds. We're really going on a Thunderbirds rant here,
Yeah,
but I'm fine with it. I was so obsessed with Thunderbirds when I was a kid. My mum made me a Thunderbird 2 out of mashed potato.
Wow.
Was it green as well?
It had green accents.
Your table opened up.
It had green accents made with garden peas. Fantastic from her, really.
Shout out to James's man.
Yeah, well done, well done, Mum. Incredible. I remember that so far on. I remember because you're on about the visual effects. I remember the actual going back in time with the dagger. I thought that looked pretty cool at the time. Does it not?
Yeah, but the I think I'll revisit it. It looks worse, but I think the whole notion of it constantly, if you have a film and you constantly keep going back in time, then, I've got to be on board with the script. Otherwise, it's just going to be completely exhausting. Like, oh my god,
you need me.
Gotta watch it. I've got to watch
to want to go back,
catch a snake again.
Yeah. Yeah, Prince of Persia. That is what year did that come out? 2010,
like 2008. I'm not really sure.
Around then, yeah. But wow, what a movie! I might go back and watch that. Relive my childhood. Right, Jack. Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
are you ready?
It is. Oh, yeah.
This is easily my pick for the worst because it's the one with it wasted its potential the most.
Yeah, it had such unreal promise.
Assassin's Creed,
a great director,
Justin Kurzel.
Well. Yeah.
What? Because his Macbeth movie that came out a few years before Assassin's Creed is one of the most beautiful films, like just visually, I've ever seen. It's unbelievable, and so I was buzzing for that. Same cinematographer. Michael Fassbender is great, and he was producing it, and he seemed really, really into it because this took years to actually happen. Marion Cotillard, Jeremy Irons. Who else was in this?
Brendan Gleeson.
I don't remember his name.
Brendan Gleeson.
I never remember this man's name, but he's the biology teacher in Community.
Yes.
The one who was in prison.
It's Michael.
Oh, Michael K. Williams. I've got it.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
His character's called like Baptiste or something.
Musa. You're close.
Not Baptiste.
Completely off.
Musa. I've got it in front of me, mate. It's Musa.
I looked at it earlier. I swear to God, it was. I'm gonna have a look at this.
Maybe it's his first and second name.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't even see this film. I was sort of excited for it, and then I think it's hard to say don't let like early reviews turn you off, but the reviews were so objectively bad that I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna go to the cinema to see this.
I really could not believe what I had watched when it ended. How do you take something like Assassin's Creed, which is so rich with, it's got such a great premise and an idea that I love those games. I mean, I've not played the more recent ones, but when they first started, I was really into Assassin's Creed and I was so excited for this. You got Michael Fassbender, you've got a great director. The rest of the cast is great. And you just screw it up so badly. They took the general idea of the animus and going back in time and with your ancestors and all that, and just it's interesting enough in the game. You didn't need to change it so much,
Yeah.
so much that it was nonsensical.
They
Because
changed it so he's like, instead of lying like in the games, you lie on like
Oh my
the
God.
bed, don't you? Essentially, and then this time they hook it up to him, so he's like doing the movements in the room while
right,
he's in
so
while he's in the Animus.
It was like
So
VR then, essentially.
Yeah, so he's just like tarting about the room, doing flips and stuff. And this massive, like, it's like a crane, isn't it? It looks
Yeah,
like a crane,
like an
that's
arm,
attached to
yeah.
his back. Yeah,
like what
Is it like the
Palpatine's
thing?
on.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. Is it like the
It basically
Like the
is.
claw
Palpatine
machine.
stuck on?
Yeah. So, but he's climbing build when he's in the past, when he's his ancestor. What was he called? Like Aguilar or something.
Yeah.
So he's climbing these.
Does he just look exactly like Michael Fassbender? Is
Well,
it just
yeah,
Michael
it's
Fassbender?
just Michael Fassbender.
The games do that, don't they? Everyone looks like Desmond.
Distant ancestors would really look exactly.
So he's climbing these, really tall towers, doing somersaults off of fucking everything back in the past. But then how does that translate back to present time? Because this room has a ceiling, it has walls. How is he doing it? It made no sense.
He's also not always doing that. Sometimes he's simply talking.
Yeah.
So is he just stood there talking, or is he just stood there, like in the room? I got confused. Apparently, Michael K. Williams' character, his character is a descendant of a man called Baptiste.
Right.
I swear, I didn't just pull Baptiste out my ass. Didn't think, it's the first thing that's going to come to my head.
That's a really roundabout way of saying that you were still wrong about his name, Jack.
Yeah, but I was close.
I don't know how you even fucking remember that. But yeah, what a trash movie. And I know they were hoping to do more. But...
Well, they're doing a TV show now with Netflix, aren't they?
Oh yeah, that got announced.
Yeah.
I think it's
who better to do it than Netflix though? Because Netflix just chuck everything at the wall, see what sticks. It doesn't work. They've got more money anyway. Cool.
Yeah,
one of their shows would be good.
Yeah. I think that would probably adapt better as a TV show though. You got more time.
Yeah,
and I suppose you could do it you could explore the different ages in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Series. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so a lot more faith in that.
I'd watch a Black Flag one. That'd be interesting.
Great game.
Oh, that was a sick game.
Yeah, that's my favorite Assassin's Creed.
That was one of the best ones.
I've not played Valhalla yet, but so far it's Black Flag.
That's like the best one that isn't with Ezio.
Yeah. Apart from them
that's the best one with
butchering Jackdaw, they can't say it properly that they made it.
I've not played any of the. I think
call
Black
it the Jack.
was
They
the
call
last one I
it
played.
they call it the Jack. What do they say? Jackdaw.
What are you talking about?
There's ship. They call it the Jackdaw.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And it's Jackdaw. It's a Welsh thing.
Oh.
You wouldn't understand.
You said it. It sounded like you said it the same way.
No, they say AW and it's spelled with an O.
Say them both.
They say Jack. They say Jack Daw, and it's Jack Doe.
Almost identical.
But as a Welsh bloke, as a proper Welsh bloke, you realise these things.
You said the same word twice in the same way.
It's door and door.
Yeah,
right.
The Jackdaw and the Jackdaw.
So currently in development, I think the main two ones are we got Uncharted with Ruben Fleischer, who did Venom and Zombieland, starring Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Not a lot of hope for that. I think.
No,
Tom Holland.
Isn't Mark Wahlberg's character in the games like 60?
Yeah,
odd?
He's not far off now. Mark Wahlberg's like 50, is he?
Yeah, but he doesn't look anything like the guy. He's got like white hair and stuff.
Tom Holland's also about 10 years younger than Nathan Drake in the game as well.
Drake.
So yeah,
I suppose but then you can like if they get him young, if it's successful, they'll just make fucking loads when they.
Yeah,
that's what they want.
I don't think that'll be very good though.
Well, I'm guessing they want to make him young so they can actually try and make a series of films.
Yeah.
Because if they did get the fan cast that everyone wanted, which would have been Nathan Fillion, maybe he's a bit old.
15 years ago, maybe Nathan Fillion would have been great, but too much of that. And Mark Wahlberg was actually signed on to be Nathan Drake for years, but now took so long to actually happen that he got too old. They were like, oh, do you want to be Sully instead? Yeah, and the other one is Borderlands, directed by Eli Roth, starring with Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, Jack Black.
Oh, that's going to be bad.
Yeah,
Eli Roth is not a great filmmaker.
Borderlands is. I wasn't so into Borderlands. It just wasn't for me.
Is it going to be animated? Do we know? Or
No, live action.
It's live action.
Okay.
I enjoyed the first Borderlands. I haven't played any of the others.
I think I played like half of 2.
I've got all 3.
There you go, Jack. You can play them.
I've never played either of those games, so I don't really have a.
Oh, I love Uncharted, but
attachment to either.
no hope for
they're
that.
good. They're good games, but they're like looter shooters.
Yeah,
so.
it's not for me. Right, so let's talk about ones we want to get adapted. I'll go first. BioShock is the one I've always thought would make the best movie. Such a great story. It felt like I was watching a movie when I was playing it. I was so just immersed in the actual narrative of the story, and a lot of games don't really get me that way. But I just
Get Big Daddy on the big screen.
Oh, be so good. And Guillermo del Toro has been
he would
around that.
He would
for
be
ages, but he would be so perfect for a BioShock movie.
He'd be my choice to make it. Going back to Reese, like Silent Hill, I think Guillermo del Toro could even handle a good Silent Hill film.
Oh yeah,
probably.
That is his arena.
Yeah. Although he puts his name on anything really, and then puts his name on about 15 things a year, and then only one of them comes out. So I doubt we'll ever get a Guillermo del Toro BioShock. And the other one's Halo, just because the story's there. You really wouldn't have to do much in terms of it. Oh yeah, because Neil Blomkamp was going to do it for ages, and then it turned into District 9 pretty much.
I think it would be a good TV series.
They tried that. They tried a Halo TV show, and it was fucking dreadful.
Yeah, well, it depends who's got, the execution as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Steven Spielberg was going to adapt a Halo TV show for a while, but I don't know what's happened with that. Yeah, I think those two would easily be my picks. Gears of War as well. Great story. Batista's been fucking campaigning for that for ages.
Based on the first 3 though, like the new ones.
I don't play the new ones.
Just a rehash of the same shit.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Calvin, your picks. What do you want to see adapted?
I'd love to see the Red Dead Redemption games adapted. I really think either of them could make a great film or even a TV series.
I was going to say, I think a TV show would be better.
all the existing characters that they have are already so drawn out. I think it would work well in TV at the moment because obviously something like Westworld was so popular.
Yeah.
And I do think people are really on board with Westerns more because, it's been since classic Hollywood, it's been sort of a dying genre and it's only just sort of semi getting revitalized. We're seeing a lot more Westerns.
Yeah.
A lot more revisionist Westerns, they're doing something a bit different. So Westworld with the the sci-fi tropes. You had that Kurt Russell film Bone Tomahawk, which is great, which takes that away. So yeah, I'd really love to see Red Dead Redemption. I think it's a genre that already is proven to be successful in Hollywood, and I love a good Western. I don't know if anyone else does.
Yeah.
I just love the sort of slow tone with this sort of great vast expanse of nothing. Just feels so otherworldly, even though it's set in our world. It's even better because the games are already so cinematic and they take themselves seriously. So I think they've already got strong foot in there to go off and do something really great. It doesn't even have to be the same characters. It could be something completely different. But I think what they have going for them is if they call it Red Dead Redemption, millions of people are going to be already on board of that because the last game sold fucking millions.
It was great.
I think because this game is already so cinematic, I think too many other game adaptations fail because they try to capture the sort of essence of most of the games, which is for fun. These games are made for entertainment and fun. Films are and TV is as well. But I think just trying to capture the funness of a game, and let's say like a film like Doom, doesn't really translate well to a film. Whereas I think something like this is already an established genre within cinema. So I think it would work so well, and I'd really love to see it.
Yeah, Red Dead already in its form as a game is very cinematic. Anyway, when you're adapting that, I think there is so much to it that it could easily be a great TV show. And with Red Dead, you don't have to adapt everything about the game, do you? As well, because there's so much in it that is purely experience based as a player that you can just strip so much out of it, and the actual story itself is very good. And I'd love to see that adapted. I think definitely more of a TV show though than a movie. I think just because there's so much to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like maybe the first game, if they wanted to do that, could work more as a film, but the second game more of a TV show. I think Western is obviously well established, much more in film. So I think people and some modern Westerns can really get away with that. I think like if you think of like the assassination of Jesse James, I think that sort of, and the first game Red Dead Redemption is just sort of like a revenge story. So maybe that would translate better to film, and the second game would translate better to TV.
Jack, what do you want to see made into a movie?
No, this is mine's a completely different like tone now. So like in the air, there was that Ratchet and Clank movie where it was essentially just an animated movie based on the game. It was almost like a complete rip from the game.
Yeah.
I want that for the Spyro games, like the Spyro trilogy. Because they define, like they are like, when I think of like playing your PlayStation 1 when you were like, I don't know however old I was, all I think about is Spyro and Crash Bandicoot.
I was going to say those,
so good. And the second one especially, I think I completed Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. I think I completed it like over 10 times. Just could not get enough of it. So in the same era as like the Ratchet and Clank movie, even if it was just a complete rip of the same story, bang, chuck it in, I'd watch it. I think it'd be good. Kids would love it.
Would you do it animated?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I can't imagine
a live action Spyro.
Imagine live. It would look shit.
It might look alright though, because they actually managed after the re-edits getting like Sonic to look semi-good.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but I think it would just be safer.
They could have Crash versus Spyro, like a sort of Alien versus Predator.
Whoever wins, we lose.
Spyro flying around, blowing fire, and Crash Bandicoot just spinning about.
Yeah.
And then this one's kind of a cop out because it's already based on someone else. But I think I'd love to see like a continuation of like the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Yeah,
like
I brought that up to my friend the other week. That's such a good story.
Yeah,
they could easily make a movie.
Yeah, like even if they didn't want to do the same story and they wanted to like almost put a sequel and just following Cal Kestis, was that his name?
Yeah. Or just following him. Just pull the characters.
Yeah, just pull the characters out and give them their own film or like their own TV show, whatever. I think that would be a really good jumping off point just to start a new series, because again, I think that game was like super popular.
Yeah,
it was so good. The story was great that you've already got a winner with just the people are going to watch it because they like those characters and they know those characters.
People are going to watch it because it's Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
Chuck Star Wars on it. Everyone's like, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, like at least you know these characters are. Movie. Well, like some of the projects they've got coming out, like you don't even know who's going to be. Like some of them know like who the characters are.
Yeah.
So that's always like a risk, I suppose, because you might just create absolute tripe.
I could easily see them putting Cal into a season of The Mandalorian. Because they fucking love doing that. Oh, look, you recognise this person?
He was going to be in season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a rumor that he was going to be
the one to take Grogu.
Role. Yeah.
How old is Dominic? Cameron Monaghan? Is that the actor?
Yeah.
I think it is. So yeah. How old? Oh, he's in his mid-20s. I thought maybe he was a bit older, so that would translate better if they wanted to use
27
him as live action. God, he he's not as old as I thought he was.
Reese, your pick.
Yeah, I had a few because I used to say like The Last of Us, but obviously we're getting that now.
Yeah,
I'm
can't wait
excited
for that.
I think maybe like God of War would make an interesting like TV series maybe.
Adapt the the new God of War.
Yeah, I would like
games, yeah,
more.
easily.
I would like Resident Evil movies that are more faithful to the game storylines. It's like kind of claustrophobic, stuck in a house with this kind of force following you. But for me,
did you see that Don't Breathe film, anyone?
Oh, so good.
With Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine it to be like.
Yeah, that would be good.
That could be great.
But for me, I think it would work more as a TV series, but I'd like to see the Dragon Age games. I think Dragon Age, they'd work much more. And I think because of like the popularity of things like Lord of the Rings and The Witcher and that kind of stuff, I think Dragon Age would do really well as a TV show, as a series.
Yeah, anything fantasy, I am immediately on board with.
Oh yeah, and I think because like you could pick, you could do all the games if you wanted to, or you could pick and choose, But I think it'd just be really good because the character's really interesting. Obviously the main character you create, but like the characters around them are really interesting. Yeah, I think it'd be really.
Yeah.
I think visually it could be amazing as well. Like some of the things you see in it are really
eye-popping.
Really eye-popping, and it's just a really solid story to build on to make a TV show.
Reese, I've got good news for you. Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City is coming out in November of this year.
Happy days.
It's not Paul W.S. Anderson, is it?
No, it's
oh, good.
Johannes Roberts. What has he done? Oh, he did 47 Meters Down. That shark movie.
Is that based more on like the games then?
Yeah, so you've got Claire and Chris and Jill.
Nice. Happy days. Well, Jill was also in the other ones, but
all right.
They butchered that character.
Decent enough cast. Hannah John Kamen, Kaya Scodelario, Robbie Amell.
I have a feeling this new game they're bringing out this month now would make a good film. Resident Evil Village. Yeah.
Yeah, the last game as well. Route than the actual.
The last game as well would make a really good film.
We're trying to play through that at the minute, and it scares the shit out of me.
That kind of cult family.
Yeah, I don't like Texas Chainsaw type.
Vibe.
Yeah, terrifies me. And that's the show, guys. Thanks as always for watching. Head to our Twitter and follow us at Keeping It Real UK. From there, you can find links to our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Please like, rate, and subscribe where you can. We'll see you again on Monday when we are going to rank all 11 Star Wars movies, best to worst. Until then, please share this around if you enjoy. And as always, keep it real.